Hi, good evening. Let me get Facebook on. And, okay, good evening. I'm going to wait for a few people to come on. It is about 8 o'clock. And I have a few things I want to talk about tonight. So I'm going to give a few people some time to get on because I forgot to announce it on my Facebook page. So, let me do something here on Facebook. Let's see. How do I do this? So I just want to say good evening. I'm hoping everyone had a good week. I've had a pretty busy week. It was one of those weeks that I was so glad when Friday came along. So trying to get used to the Facebook. I have to use the computer. Periscope, you're on my tablet. And one is touchscreen and one I gotta use the pad, and I kind of get confused. So let's see. I have kind of a lot to talk about tonight. It's more of a story and lessons learned and things that have come to me this week. I also want to announce, hi, let me introduce myself. I am Sherry Ellis, and I'm the owner of SBE Designs and SBE Consulting. SBE Designs, I mainly do custom t-shirts, and I also have a t-shirt line out, and right now I'm wearing one of them. This is the pink and black, the pink t-shirts we did this morning at church for breast cancer awareness. So I was selling these all for the month of October, and it's okay. I'm not a big pink girl, believe it or not. I'm a girly girl, but not really a pink girl. I'm kind of getting into my pinkness as I get older. So today was, of course, we pinked out the church, and we had a really good time. A really good message was given today. The music, everything was just awesome. So here's the t-shirts. I want to give an announcement. On November 8th and 9th, I will be a vendor at the Outpouring Women's Conference at Pleasant Hill Baptist Church. For Friday night, I think it starts at 7, and on 7/8 starts at 8:30 in the morning. So if you're interested in attending a really powerful women's conference, please, the registration is $30. I know they're still selling tickets. You have about a week and a half to get your ticket. I don't have all the information on how to actually register, but please just feel free to send me a note if you're on Facebook. Just send me a message. You can message me or put a comment under this video, and I'll get you the information on how to register or who to contact to register. I'll be there as one of the vendors as well as a participant, so I'll be kind of going back and forth. I might get hubby to man my table while I'm getting all of the good information for the conference. So. Okay, so I'll be there. It's in about 2 weeks on Friday, November 8th. It starts at 7, and on Saturday, November 9th, it starts at 8:30 a.m. It's at Panel Baptist Church. Not Panel, Lord. That's the street. Okay, y'all, it's getting late. Okay, Pleasant Hill is the name of my church, where the Reverend Harvey Clemens Jr. is the pastor. Okay, got that out. So I'll be out. I'll be selling Faith and Trust t-shirts, as well as I'm doing some different things I'm going to try out for the conference. And hope you like them. Stop by. Visit with me. You'll get to see me in person. Get to see who I am in person, which is pretty much who you see now. My hair may be different, but that's about it. As you probably already noticed, my hair is different from last week. So I try to switch it up a whole lot. Also, again, I'm Sherry Ellis. For those that have just joined in, I'm the owner of SBE Consulting and SBE Designs. Another announcement I do want to make. Okay, so I'll be at the conference on the 8th and the 9th. Also, I am now on SoundCloud. I'm going to try this new podcasting. So now, not only am I recording for Facebook and Periscope, I'm also recording for SoundCloud. gonna see how that works out. I'm gonna see how it all plays out before I actually put this particular session up. So look for me on SoundCloud. If you're a podcaster, if you prefer to listen versus watch videos, I've now gotten on SoundCloud. So now I have 3 devices working, so y'all bear with me. This is going to be interesting tonight, just watching me try to work all this. So one of the things, of course, this is all about me and my journey from 9 to 5 to entrepreneurship. I announced several weeks ago that I've put in my, quote, notice at work. August 31st, 2019 will be my last day of work. I've actually told pretty much every, I'm going to say relevant person in my department. That's my boss and the assistant chairs and my staff. So everybody knows that on August 31st, that's my last day, and I'm sticking to it. I'm believing God will make sure it works out, because I truly believe that is the date that He gave me. I actually had some other dates in mind, and I'm one of those people. I know a lot of people ask, like, how does God speak to you? I believe God knows our personalities, and He knows what we'll hear, I guess you can say, to a certain extent. Now, there are sometimes He's going to tell us something or reveal something to us that we'll be like, what in the world are you talking about? But because I'm a planner and I'm a thinker, He will allow me to plan. He'll allow me to write things out. He'll allow me to think things through, and then I'll go back and say, okay, you let me I thought this through, so what you think, before I move, of course. And because, God knows us. God knows us better than we know ourselves. So I really believe that that's how He speaks to me, through my logic, believe it or not. I'm sitting there trying to do something in a logical way, and when I know it's not making sense, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's God, because that don't make sense to me. So okay, let me delve into that a little more. Okay, so that's my date, August 31st, 2019. And I was putting a little number on my page. I'm going to have to update it tonight, because I know I'm probably close at about 300 days left. I haven't done the math. I could check real quick, but then, okay, y'all. Okay, another thing about me, I'm one of those people that my husband says I'm a Google-holic. So I'm going to actually tell you how many days I have left now, and I already have it. You can tell I've looked it up before. So as of today, I have 306 days left to get it together, which means I believe that is the day God has given me that date, and He's also given me the tools to make it happen. So it is up to me to make that happen, okay? And I want you all to hold me accountable. Keep me on track. And if you want to take this journey with me, please join in with me. If you know someone who wishes to make the move from 9 to 5 to full-time entrepreneurship, invite them to like my page, follow me. You can follow me on Facebook. Of course, tell them just search Sherry Ellis and they'll find me. I pop right up. I'm the black lady, as you all can see. On Periscope, Sherry Ellis. On Instagram, it's Sherry Banks Ellis, because I guess someone else is Sherry Ellis on Instagram. SoundCloud, if you are a podcaster, if the person or yourself prefer podcast, it's Sherry Ellis. Just search Sherry Ellis, you will find me. Okay? All right, y'all. This week has been kind of crazy in the fact that it was a lot going on. I had a lot going on at work. I think I tried to come on earlier this week, and I was like about to fall asleep because I was working on a project, and I'm literally sitting here in front of the camera, and I'm like, I'm tired, but I got this work to do. I literally came home from work, walked straight in here, and sat at the computer and started working, because I have a job that's due on this Friday. And once I get off here, I'm going to try to finish these t-shirts either tonight or tomorrow night. The client doesn't need them, the customer doesn't need them till Friday, but I try not to wait till the last minute, because guess what? I have to work on my own shirts for the conference next week, on the 8th. So I have to come up with some designs. I have to decide what color. I have to order shirts, cut, iron, everything. by the time I get to the ironing part, it's usually the easy part. The hardest part for me, believe it or not, is coming up with an idea. Well, not coming up with an idea, playing with different fonts and things to see how I want the print on the shirt. As you all know, and I think I explained in my first post, I'm a kind of simple girl, so my t-shirt line is kind of simple. You won't see too many flashy colors. You're not going to see a whole lot of glitter and just fancy things. And that's just who I am. And I can't put a line out that doesn't reflect who I am. So that's who I am. I'm pretty straightforward, simple, not too much fluff to me. You won't see me with a whole lot of color. Like, I won't wear 25 different colors. I have 1 or 2 colors, maybe 3. It's kind of, I'm trying to get a little more exploratory with colors, but that's just who I am, and so my line reflects that. Simple, clean lines. Nothing, like I say, nothing too fancy. So I have to come up with something that reflects who I am, as well as what people actually want to pay for, right? Okay. So this week, y'all, 3 things happened. One was like a revelation, I guess you can call it, as far as something I think will help anyone, whether you're in business or not, kind of navigate this thing we call life. And so I'm sitting at my desk on Thursday, sitting at my desk by 9 to 5, and I don't remember what I was working on. Oh, I knew what I was doing. I was trying to catch up on some work that I was trying to do something at the last minute, and I got it all done. It's amazing what I can get done. I'm not necessarily a last minute person, but I work better under pressure at work than just, because I had plans and I know when things are due. But this is one of those tasks I do not like doing, just because it's monotonous, and the process that we take to do it is kind of like, wow, we're doing all this it's like you're going around a circle to get to somewhere where you can get to with a straight line. You know how they said quickest way from 2 points is a straight line? Well, they want to go in 2 circles. So anyway, sitting at my desk, and this just popped in my head, and it's just, the truth has nothing to do with your feelings. The truth has nothing to do with your feelings. I'm like, okay, Lord, why is this just... And it was something, I literally stopped doing what I was doing, and I had to write it down. Like, you know how sometimes things will come to you, and it's like, time got to stand still. Let me grab a pen. Let me get some paper. Actually, it was a sticky note. I grabbed the sticky note. Yeah, I did use work. Yeah. And I had to write it down, because for some reason I felt that was something I needed to truly meditate on, find scripture to back it up, that type of thing. The truth has nothing to do with your feelings. And I'm thinking to myself, well, yeah, I know that. I mean, the truth is the truth, whether I like it or not, right? I mean, the truth is the truth. When we're going through life, I think one of the reasons why that came to me, because a lot of times, I think I was having a conversation with my husband, and may have been part of it. And I found him saying about what I felt like and I feel. And we were talking about a truth. And like I said, I can't remember the details of the conversation, but we were talking about something that was the truth. It was fact. But it's one of those, but I understand, because I can understand how they feel. And my point was, well, yeah, that's how you feel, but it's still wrong, or it was still the truth, or whatever it was. And so we always would have them conversations anyway, I understand versus this is what it really is kind of thing. That's just how we communicate in this house sometimes. So I'm at work, and this comes to my brain. The truth has nothing to do with your feelings. And it was like I said, it was something else. Like, I had to really stop, and I had to write it down. And I think my sister called me. I'm like, this thing just came to me. I'm like, the truth has nothing to do with your feelings. She was like, yes, Sherry, that's true. I'm like, but for some reason that was so important for me to say, something important for me to know, something important to the point I came in on Thursday night, and I have this notebook I keep on this desk where to write down what I want to talk about, because I don't just like come on here and just say, hey, how y'all doing on Sundays. I try to really write down things that I think will truly help and also relate to what I went through as far as this journey that I'm on. The truth has nothing to do with your feelings. The only thing I could take away from it right now, because like I said, I didn't take the time to look up scripture references for it. I just feel for some reason, I'm only sure there's something in scripture to back that up. Is because what I've been experiencing really this past year with my journey with allowing God to really take the reins in every part of my life is that we can allow our feelings to hide or shield or distort our view of reality in our business. And one of the biggest things I know I don't really have an issue as much as my husband does, and I'm putting him out there tonight because he's not here right now. But he calls his business his baby, and he is a father. And the years I've known him with his relationship with his children and how, any parent, from what I'm understanding, any parent will go to bat for their kids. They die for their kids. That's just how much passion and love they have for their children, right? So, with that being said, when he said his business was his baby, so one of the things I'm watching him do is have a hard time trusting other people to do things for him in his business. Why? Because he has this very emotional attachment to his baby, which is, his business, his latest baby, rather. So, Facebook, I'm trying to give you all attention, and for some reason feel like I don't know, I'll get it together one day. But I love you all, Facebook and Periscope. Love you guys. So, from what I can gather, I believe it's God's word to me and God's word to you that in business, do not allow your feelings to distort the reality of what's going on in your business. For example, I can only use me. This week we sold lunches at work. Ethan's Q does lunches every 2 weeks, I guess. John does them at his job. So I started selling them where I work, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm going to sell some lunches, Hey, I figure, we hit two. And a lot of people where I work, for some reason, they like his food. So, yay. So, y'all, okay. I sold lunches at my job. He sold lunches at his job. And so when it was time to come home and, count the money, I find it funny because, it's interesting. We're not partners in his business, but let's be real. I live in the state of Texas, and so we both own each other's businesses. So even though he is Ethan's Q and I'm SBE Designs, at the end of the day, we both own everything because we're married, right? So he was like, oh, so let me count your money. I'm like, here, count the money. I mean, he's like, how many did I sold all? Actually, he threw in an extra one, and I was able to sell that too. So, he had to literally count the money. Then he was like, wait, I don't want to count it because I'm going to let you keep it, so I don't need to see it. So I'm like, okay, wait a minute. It was kind of crazy. But it was that was his baby. And then, this was the bigger thing. We actually had a good problem, I guess you can say, this week. The good problem we had this week because we bought the food to make lunches. And we generally do pre-orders. So we bought enough, actually, we thought we bought enough to sell what we normally would sell, between the two locations. And so when he prepared the meat, he realized, at least he thought, that it wouldn't be enough. So Thursday he calls me, goes, do not take any more orders because we don't have any more food. Well, of course, I went into John Ethan mode. That's what I call it. And I mean, people literally was coming to my office to get orders. And this is kind of, y'all, if y'all don't know me by now, I can be very long-winded. I'm trying to get better with that. But this kind of goes with the truth has nothing to do with your feelings. So I'm taking the orders, and, so and basically Thursday, and I'm like, sweetie, hey, I couldn't resist. I think I sold about 3 or 4 more, and what I found out on the back end, he had sold like 6 more. So, I mean, we really were like, we sold the most we had ever sold. So we were very fortunate. Like I said, it was a good problem to have. We really had people coming to our desk. We didn't have to tell people we were selling. They were coming and looking for us to make a purchase for lunch. So getting back to the truth has nothing to do with your feelings. I said, well, because at the time I'm like, okay, well, I got all these extra plates that I wasn't supposed to get. So I'm going to stay up. I'm going to fix them. You just, because he had to smoke a whole nother brisket, basically. So that's at least 8 hours. So that's an all-nighter. So all night Thursday, he had to be awake to do this. So I figured because it was my doing at the time, I'm like, I tell you what, just buy it, put it on the pit. I will watch it. I will, I'm going to do everything because I brought this extra burden on you, this extra work on you, and I'm going to take care of everything, right? Okay, so I'm like, okay. So I figured, okay, but I'm going to go and take a nap, and then I'll wake up and I'll, finish cooking everything or preparing everything, put the plates together, at least my plates. I said, don't even worry about doing mine. Fix yours, and I'll even fix mine because, like I said, he asked me to stop taking orders, and I kept taking orders, right? Because I couldn't tell people no. I mean, really, I'm going to tell somebody no. Y'all, I couldn't turn down money. Anyway, so when I wake up at about 2:30 in the morning, he's fixed all the plates. Why? Because he wanted it fixed a certain way. He didn't trust me to give it the, quote, Ethan's Q touch. So he literally did all of this work by himself. And his feeling is, this is my baby. I have to hold on to my baby. And no one else can take care of my baby like I can take care of my baby. But the reality in business is, guess what? The truth is, no matter how you feel about your business, the truth is, in order to grow, expand, be successful, you're going to have to trust someone to do something for you. You cannot do it all and be successful. If you have a vision of, let's say, having a 6-figure business that is labor intensive, such as his, there's not enough hours in a day for you to do all the work and reach that goal. The truth has nothing to do with your feelings. No matter how you feel about things or that business, you're going to have to understand some truths. And truth number 1 is you're going to have to trust other people. You're going to have to literally ask God, who can I trust in my business to make sure it is done with integrity, that it is representative of my brand, and they will represent me and God in the best light. You will have to trust someone other than just you. Human-wise, we always trust God. I truly believe you ask God, he will have that person in front of you. You just ask. He's going to send the person or people to you, all the process to you, and just believe that he is taking care of you and your business. The truth has nothing to do with your feelings. When you're in business, the truth has nothing to do with your feelings. Because what you have to understand, a business is not a human. A business is a business. It is an inanimate object, I guess you can say, that you can't even feel or touch. Even if you sell a product or a service, you can touch the product, but you can't touch the business. So the reality is, you have to get your feelings out of your business. When someone say they do not like your product or service, it's not a personal attack on you. It's not saying that you're a horrible person. It's not saying that you just don't know what you're doing. It's literally their opinion about your business. It's not their opinion about you as a person. Now, if you say or do something to the person while you're conducting business, well, yeah, if they say you're a low down, dirty cheater, whatever, well, yeah, they're saying something about you as your character. But of course, if you're conducting business with integrity and following the policies that you've put in place for your business, and for some reason someone has something to say about your business, it's about your business, it's about your product, it's not about you. You know, everybody not trying to hurt you, everybody not trying to knock you down. Now, of course, you know, there are people that are, I mean, let's be real, we live in this world, and this world is not perfect. But the truth has nothing to do with your business. I mean, with your feelings. I'm sorry. The truth has nothing to do with your feelings. I think in business that will take us a long way. Let's separate our feelings from our businesses. Any doubts or anything, for me, I'm taking it to God and just asking, look, what should I do? What shouldn't I do? How should I, move on? Okay, so that thing popped in my head, and y'all, I just feel that the truth has nothing to do with your feelings, and I think it'll help you all, those that are already in business, if you're thinking about going into business, if you're currently 9 to 5 moving it toward business, full-time entrepreneurship, keep that in mind. And I'm gonna begin to, well, I've been kind of like that anyway, but for some reason it was like really loud and clear. So I'm thinking something is either coming down the pipeline that I'm going to have to really, is going to be tested. My feelings are going to, quote, the truth is going to be tested with me as far as separating what is being said to me versus how I feel about it. Okay. So, other stuff that's going on. So this week I had a lesson, well, 2 lessons. One directly related to my business, one indirectly related to business in general. I do want to share. Okay, so the first lesson learned. If you're in the t-shirt business and you order t-shirts, make sure you wash your t-shirts. Order some samples, wash them, wear them, and see what will happen. Because I had a bad experience over the weekend. This t-shirt I have on, I made myself. But I've had some others that were printed by screen printing. And I wore one, I think I may have had it on, there's some pictures on my Facebook. It's the black with the white. I think I have Trust. And so I wore the t-shirt. I think I wore it to church and I wore it to work. And so, of course, it was time to wash it. So my loving husband put it in the machine and dryer. And so I'm taking the clothes out of the dryer, folding them, and I go to fold my t-shirt, and y'all, I wanted to cry. It was like all of the, because it was the black t-shirt with the white ink. Half of the letters the white had washed off, like totally one of the letters, and it was coming off on the other, and there's like white specks all over it. And then there was some few other items in the machine that had white specks from the screen print ink, I guess, whatever they use, ink, dye, whatever they call it. Needless to say, I was not happy. I'm like, oh my goodness. Now, this was a large order t-shirts I had ordered for an event. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I got a whole box of these things sitting in the room. Like, okay, maybe this is just a fluke, So, John had his, and he hadn't worn it yet. So I'm like, well, I'm going to wash yours, because I had some other clothes to wash. So I put it with the laundry with all the rest of our clothes, washed it, pulled his out of the machine, and lo and behold, his wasn't quite as bad as mine, but it was like, ooh, that's 2. I've washed 2 shirts, and it has happened to both shirts. So now at this point, I'm thinking, that's a problem with this ink they use for these screen prints, right? So I went and looked at my paperwork, and lo and behold, I can't return them. I ordered them in August. It's in October. And usually when you're doing custom work with t-shirts, there's no returns, no cancellations, no returns, unless the product is defective. And then you have a time period, and I'm outside that time period. So guess what? I got to eat that cost. Needless to say, I'm not happy about that, y'all. I'm not happy at all. So before you place an order with a printer, please just order a few. It's going to cost you more to order them. But I would have saved some money had I ordered like 3 or 4 and washed them first to see how they held up in the machine. Because I would have, you want to make sure you can wash your shirt when you pay for it, right? So I recommend, if you're doing any type, get, samples. And I think the reason why I didn't do samples is because I think, I had a couple of people who have used this vendor before and didn't have any problems. And of course, I'm the one having the problems. Now, the interesting thing is, if the black ink is fine, it's the white ink. For some reason, all my t-shirts that have white ink, I can't, they're kind of just wasted. So get samples before you place a large order. And that's with anything. With me, it's t-shirts. If you do whatever you do, like whatever you order, whatever product, if someone's producing a product for you, have them do samples, buy a sample or two, test it out, see how it works before you put in that huge order. Especially custom orders. It's not this was a custom order. So, all my t-shirts are custom order because they're things that I design. So, lesson learned, is costing me some money, but guess what? The interesting thing is, I bought them for an event that was postponed. And as mad as I was yesterday, as upset as I was yesterday, and this is how I know when you're growing in God, and you're growing in believing God's going to take care of everything. As upset as I was, because one, I have a box of shirts that I can't use. I mean, I can give them away, and which is what I end up doing. I'm gonna end up just giving them away probably. Can't think of anything else to do with them right now. The bright side is that I had not sold them because I was holding them for the next event. And so I said, well, I'm not going to sell them. I'm just going to hold them. And for some reason, when they came in, I'm like, I'm going to hold them. I'm going to hold them. I'm not going to try to sell when I sell, I'll just, make some and sell. I won't use this particular lot. I'm just saving this for an event. Well, I'm like, the Lord saved my reputation in that. I mean, even though, I lost some money, my reputation I still have of putting out a quality product. Because had I sold those shirts and customers got them home, wore them once or twice, put them in a machine, and all the lettering is gone when they take them out the dryer, they probably wouldn't buy another shirt from me again, right? So, lesson learned, but also I believe God saved my reputation. And I thank God for saving my reputation. It cost me a few dollars. I want to say it's just money, but right now I wish I would have spent that money. I'm not even going to kid you. But that was my lesson learned early in the game. Good thing it wasn't 500 shirts. It was a much smaller quantity, like 50, 40 or something like that. So, needless to say, I'm just happy that I was able to save my reputation, because let's be real, nothing speaks for your product like your product. Someone buys a product for you, you want to make sure it's best quality for the price. And so that's my aim. I want if you're going to spend money on something that I'm selling, I want to make sure it's, top quality. You expect to at least be able to wear the shirt and wash it once without all the lettering coming off. So, lesson learned there. Man, y'all, that was a tough lesson. Costing me a few dollars. But it's all part of the game, I guess. You win some, you lose some. I just believe that the money that I lost is nothing compared to the reputation I could have lost. Because my business is built on businesses are built on reputation. And my reputation was saved. So I thank God for that. Because I would have sold those shirts, and I would have been wondering why nobody want to buy another shirt from me, because all the lettering washed off. Why I'm going to spend $25, $30 for a t-shirt and I can only wear it once? Because once I wash it, I can't wear it anymore. I didn't. So I'm glad my reputation is still there. You can wash a shirt that I make and it will last, more than one washing. Okay. So another thing I learned this week as a entrepreneur is, one of the things with this world we live in where we can just have things debited out our accounts, and we'll just put everything on automatic payment. Lesson learned, write that stuff down. Write your recurrent expenses down somewhere so you'll remember that they're gonna come in your bank account and take this money. Ran some Facebook ads, which I won't do again, because one thing I've learned, look like the ads don't really work, y'all. Write it down, because Facebook has this thing, they won't take it out your account until you reach $50 or whatever. Well, you really don't know when you reach the $50 until they take it out your account. So if you write down which account they're taking it out and stuff like that, because I looked at my account Saturday morning, I'm like, $50? I'm like, well, first of all, it ain't the end of the month. And second of all, what ad am I running? Because I had placed the ad, I thought I had put it on pause, and I hadn't. So, of course, yet more money, y'all. This week has been my throwing money out the window week, I guess you could say. I guess you could say I was throwing some money out of the window this week. But, it's all good. It's all part of the learning process. So, take it from me, so you all won't have to lose any money so you all won't throw some, money out the window. Just take those 2 points. 1, get samples before you order a large quantity of whatever you're having designed, made, whether it's t-shirts, hats, anything like that. And 2, make sure you write everything down. And I'm pretty good with writing down, noting things coming out of the account and stuff. I'm the accountant person, I guess you could say, in the house. So I pretty much know what's going in and coming, coming in and going out. But this particular one kind of hit me by surprise, because 1, I didn't realize I had spent $50 before the 31st of this month. So anyway, long story short, just keep tight reins, especially when you're doing these things like these Facebook ads and things like that won't necessarily have a date they're going to pull it out your account. I had the money to cover it. It was just like, who wants to wake up and see $50 out their account? They didn't expect. I know I don't. So, the other thing I learned this week, y'all, anybody that knows me in my truck, I have a BMW. Why? Don't buy those X5s. Please don't. If you have one, if you can get rid of it, get rid of it. Anyway, well, this particular situation, it was just a maintenance thing. But, so, truck needed some work done. Brought it in on, last week it needed work done, and I knew I was going to need more work done on it, but hey, I'm just taking it one day at a time. So I had the first set of repairs done, and so I was asking about the second repairs, and I was given a verbal quote from the mechanic. Mechanic gave me a verbal quote. I put it in my phone so I won't forget what it was, and I wasn't going to forget anyway, because, hey, I need to come up with this money because I want to get it fixed. Gave me a verbal quote. I'm like, okay, so it's going to cost this much. Came up with the money, dropped the truck off Saturday morning. He fixed it. We went to pick it up yesterday evening. And so filling out the slip, and he goes, okay, it's going to be this amount. I'm like, no. I'm like, you told me this amount last week. And the reason why he knew I wasn't making it up, because it wasn't a 200 or 250. It was like an odd number. He took like 174. Or it was like I can't remember. It was like 190. I think it was 190. It was $190. Because he said, oh, the part's going to be this plus $50 labor. So it's going to be 190. So I remembered 190. I'm like, okay. So, because first of all, I was happy he was only charging me $50 to replace the part, right? I'm going to remember that. Not many, but he's been doing work on our vehicles for years. And, what happened probably on his end, the part was more than what because he was on the phone. He got the quote over the phone. So I'm standing there. Well, John and I standing there, and he said it's going to be 190 because the part is like 140 or something, and the labor 150. So I had to remind him, no, you told me a quote of 190. So he was like, well, okay. All right, 190. And I had the cash there, like I had it 190. Boom, So for someone to make up something, then, I had it. And, he's like, I told you 190. I'm like, yeah, you said 190. So I paid 190. Lesson learned. Get your quotes in writing, whether you're asking for a quote. If you're giving a quote, give your quotes in writing so everybody will remember. It's not necessarily just to cover you, but also cover the customer. Everybody needs to know. Everybody needs to be on one page. How much will this product or service cost? When my last job, of course, I did a written quote. I always do written quotes on my t-shirt orders. If I'm just selling one t-shirt, like I'm selling one of these are $20. Just let me know you want one. But when I have to do work, do design work, things like that, you are going to get a written quote with me with tax and everything. And payment is due before I start work. So always, always, always get your quote in writing. Don't take a verbal quote. As a business person, you should never give a verbal quote. Never give a verbal quote. Again, never give a verbal quote. The most I'll say, well, you might be looking at such and such, but let me get home and send you a quote. Some people do quotes by text and stuff. I've worked with people that do that, and it is in writing. You can't deny if you put something in a text. But as a business person, I literally do a full quote because of the type of work I do, actually, because I have to describe sizes, colors, design, how many color design, I have to put all that. And that's a whole lot to put in a text. So I literally do a electronic quote. I email them to people or text it to them, but it's an attachment. Always put your quotes in writing. It protects everybody. Everybody's on the same page. You don't have to be in a situation like I was in yesterday, having to say, well, no, you said this amount last week. And I didn't feel good as the customer saying that. Because, of course, what he was writing down was more than what the quote was. Excuse me. So, always put your quotes in writing. Also, another tidbit, if you work in an industry where your raw materials, your prices may fluctuate, such as like if you deal with food and you're dealing a lot with like beef prices, things like that, or vegetables, depending on what you're preparing. If those prices can fluctuate, you can do one or two things. You can make sure whatever your quote is will compensate for at least a 10 or 20% increase of whatever you're charging. So let's say if pork is $2 a pound, you may want to put your bid and quote it as $2.35 or $2.40 a pound to allow for fluctuations in price. And people understand that with especially with food. I'm learning a lot with my husband, because I do all the paperwork now. So it also in your quotes, you can also put a clause saying that, because, even when you go and get your car repaired, they'll say something to the effect that the pricing may fluctuate, allow 10 to 20% increase in the price due to change, market price changes and things like that. So that's a good thing to put into a quote as well. Oh gosh, yeah, add that to your quotes if you have if you work in that type of market. My stuff is pretty straightforward. T-shirts are going to be the price. If I get them on sale, fine. If not, I generally quote according to the price that, without the sale. If I get it for a sale, that's a good thing for me. But, most of the time it is, it's the price. And my prices don't change too often. Usually in t-shirt, they normally don't fluctuate like food prices, gas prices. So if you're in your business is in an industry such as, that uses gas as part of your expense, oil, whatever has prices fluctuate very often. You may want to put that clause in, or just kind of get an average pricing for a certain amount of time and use that as your base price. And so that will cover you where you won't, because prime example, I'm going to be honest, I really think my mechanic took a hit on fixing my car because he didn't put his quote in writing. And he knew what he quoted me. I wouldn't come up with a crazy number. He's been dealing with us for years. He knows, I'm with integrity and honest, and I'm not going to, and, my husband even offered to pay the difference, and he was like, well, no, that's what I told you. So we both have mutual respect for each other because, one, he said, well, no, if that's what I told you all I'm going to charge you that. And two, my husband, he knew we were integral because we offered to, my husband offered to pay him the difference. Bless his heart. He is such a sweetie. I guess y'all can tell I love my husband. Yes, I do. I love me some John. Okay? Well, anyway, so he was willing to, because like I said, we've been doing business with him for years. He's done so many repairs on all our vehicles pretty much since we've been married, I want to say. Yeah. We've been knowing him for we've been knowing him for almost 7 years too. Yeah. Okay. So that was the things that went on with me this week. Those are the lessons learned for me this week. Put your quotes in writing. If you know you're in an industry that where prices fluctuate a lot, you may either want to do one or two things. Like I said, use your cost basis should reflect fluctuations, and or to put that 10 to 20% markup clause, I call it, to make sure that your customer knows that, you know, this quote may say 300, but you can charge me up to 320 and you're okay with, well, not was 20% of 300, 360. No, yeah, that's right. Oh, my math is good. Yeah. So you can charge me up to $360 and I'm okay with it. So even as a customer, if you're signing quotes, make sure you read your quote. Really read everything on your quote. And as a business person, if you're going to put clauses in your quotes like that, make sure it's big enough for your customer to see. Or you may actually want to tell them, because sometimes when you go to a mechanic shop, they'll literally point it out to me. So if you want to do that, make sure you point it out to your customer. Okay, so this is, I'm charging you $300, but if, you know, we have, you know, the prices on this part or this item fluctuate, so please allow for 10 to 20% increase. Are you okay with us charging up to 20% more for this repair or for this service? And if you're okay with it, the customer okay with it, everyone should be on the same page, because it was pointed out to them in the beginning and it's in writing. And if you're going to put a clause like that, you may want to require them to sign your quote. Since I don't have a clause, I don't necessarily require quotes to be signed. Because if you notice, if you go to the repair shop, they make you sign a quote. And that's why. Because 9 times out of 10, they have a clause like that saying, hey, okay. Well, one, they want to make sure you go pay, because we know these quotes are not $100. They sometimes, like for me, it was like $1,200, you know, one time for a repair. So as a business person on that side, just write your quotes down. And if you're in a business that has fluctuating pricing, you know, one or two things. Your cost basis should reflect fluctuation. So don't just base your price on, ooh, this meat was on sale for $1.50 a pound, when you know average you didn't pay $2.20. Your cost basis for your quote should be on $2.20, not that $1.50 you found something on sale, because that's gonna mess you up. Because you just never ever know. So that's the second thing. Well, the third thing. I had 3 things I learned this week. So I think I'm pretty much done, guys. I do want to go over, for those who will be watching this on the replay, either on Facebook, Periscope, or you'll be hearing it on SoundCloud. I do want to make a couple of announcements that I made at the beginning in case you came in late. Well, really one main announcement. And that is SBE Designs. We will be at the Outpouring Conference on November 8th and 9th. I will be selling my shirts there, my faith shirt, trust shirts, some holiday shirts, and some new designs I'm working on. I'm going to have samples of the holiday shirts there, and those will be on order only because they're seasonal, and I want to make sure that, 1, you get your shirt before Christmas, and 2, like I say, it's seasonal. That's not something we're going to be keeping in stock throughout the year. So those will be special order, and basically I take your order and you should get your shirt in a few days, you know. Shouldn't take you 2 weeks to get your shirt, right? Holidays coming up, and I want to make sure you have your shirt on time. So I'll be there on November 8th and 9th. That's at Pleasant Hill Baptist Church on Pannell Street. See, that's why I can say it, Pannell, because the church is on Pannell Street, 1510. So it's Friday. I think it starts at 7 p.m. That's November 8th. And on November 9th, it starts at 8:30 a.m. I know registration, if I'm not mistaken, is $30. I don't have the information with me in front how to register. But if you are interested in coming and visiting me at my vendor table, or matter of fact, just come to the conference, guys. Just come to the conference. Go ahead and send me a message. I mean, you can comment on this video. Comment on the video on Facebook. Comment on the video. Also, or email me at info@sbedesigns.com. Send me an email and I'll get you the information on how to register. How about that? info@sbedesigns.com. Just send me a quick email and I'll get the information to you. Or you can send a comment or message in Facebook if you're watching me on Facebook. So, I think that's all the announcements I had that I said at the beginning of this that I didn't want you all to miss. I'll be there. SBE Designs will be there in full force. And come by, visit me, get to know who I am. You see me on Facebook. You can come and see me in person. I would love to meet you all. I like to put faces with names and get to know you all. So just come and visit me there. And if I'm doing any other vendor events during the holidays or whatever, I'll keep you all in touch. I'll put some on my Sherry Ellis Facebook page. I'll let you know dates where you can find me, things like that. Also, I plan to, I was supposed to start in November. I need to go to God and figure this out. There's a lot of trainings. I would love to share information with my 9-to-5ers. So one of the things as a 9-to-5 person that wants to start business, we all are aware there's so much information for small businesses that would help us tremendously. There's always seminars, there's programs, a lot of things that are free or not necessarily free, but they're at very reasonable prices, But the problem we all have as 9-to-5ers that these trainings are during the daytime. One of the things I will be doing is offering trainings that are geared toward people that work 9-to-5. I'm in the process of putting all that together. Just want to throw that out there. So my other company, SBE Consulting, hopefully by the beginning of the year, which is January, I will have some more information on trainings that'll be held at times that's more workable for us that work 9-to-5. Even though I have a position that I can take off ever so often and take advantage of some of these trainings because, small business, SBA, they offer a lot of trainings. They usually run between $30 and $100, I can take off sometimes. SCORE offers a lot, very reasonable price, really good information. But, of course, they're all during the day because they're geared to people who are already in business full time. We're trying to get to that point, all of us here watching, we're trying to get to that point where we're in business full time. So once we're full time, we can attend these morning sessions and these midday sessions that they're offering where they have really good information. But unfortunately, they're during the daytime. So my goal is to, as SBE Consultants, one of the things I want to bring to 9-to-5ers is the opportunity to get the same quality training information, but at times that works for those that are working at 8, got to be to work at 8 a.m. and don't get home till 6 o'clock. So, of course, there'll probably be evenings or weekends, right? So I'm working on that. I'm hopefully by the beginning of the year, I'll have a full series, how to start your business, things like that. I do plan to bring in other people other than myself because this isn't the first business I've had. So I do have a lot of information and knowledge to share, but I also want to bring in people that have specialized knowledge. Like one of the things I will be honest, I am not a guru on is marketing and social media. I'm not a guru in that area. But if you're going to pay for a training, you want to speak with people that have that expertise in that area. So that's one of the things I plan to do is bring people that have expertise in certain areas. In certain areas, I have expertise. Other areas, I don't. But that's part of what I'm trying to do is get the information to you all at times and in formats that works for you. Some people love the online. Some people have to have that face-to-face interaction. So I'm working on all those formats. So I'm not going to limit myself to just face-to-face or just online. I'll be doing pretty much almost any format you can think of. Like right now I'm using SoundCloud podcast. A lot of people just want to hear and they can just hear information and retain it. I'm more of a visual person. So either I need to see a video or I need to be there in person. I can't just hear and grasp concepts I'm not familiar with. Unfortunately, my background allows me to be familiar with most business concepts. And I do understand that there are a lot of people that work 9 to 5. They want to have a business, but they don't have a clue, which is what SBE Designs does. We help people that don't have a clue about business get a clue about business. Matter of fact, get more than a clue, but we help you solve the problem. So, I like that. Help you solve the problem. I'm going to have to change it. I want to prepare you for your next opportunity. Make sure you don't miss out on your opportunity. So that's what SBE Consulting does. So before I wrap it up tonight, so guys, that's been my week. That's what's been going on with me and SBE Designs and SBE Consulting and Sherry Ellis. That's been our week. I'm all that. So before I say goodnight to you, I do want to wish you all the best in this upcoming week. Please feel free. Please share on Periscope. Please share. If you're on Periscope, there are 3 buttons at the bottom. Like me, and you can find out anytime I come on. I'm normally on at between 8 and 9 o'clock p.m. on Sundays. I'm trying to stick to that schedule. But every so often, I'll pop on during the week. On Facebook, same thing. Just like and share. Definitely, guys, if you know anyone that wants to take that journey moving from 9 to 5 to entrepreneurship, please join me. Let's keep each other accountable. Let's make sure we all reach our goals. I mean, that's what it's all about. We can't take this journey by ourselves. We don't live this life alone. So let's help each other out. Let's be there for each other. I appreciate all feedback. I appreciate all constructive feedback. I'm going to say that. We have to be careful what we allow people to say into our lives or pour into our lives, right? We have to be cautious. We have to make sure we are discerning what's good for us and what's just basically not meant to help us. But generally, yes, I'm open to suggestions. I'm open to hearing questions, comments, anything about moving from 9 to 5 to entrepreneurship. Please bring it on. And of course, as I get to know you all, if I have questions, I'm going to ask you. How about that? We ask each other questions and feed off each other, okay? So until next Sunday, unless something, like I said, this week, I'd like to pop in during the week every once in a while if things are something I really just can't wait till Sunday. So actually on Periscope, guys, I do want to let you know those pop-ins, y'all may not get them because I have discovered my cell phone does not allow me it'll record Periscope, but it won't allow people to see the replay. So unless you catch me while I'm on, I don't know, it's just with my phone. My tablet is fine, but with my phone for some reason it only in the moment it only captures the video, and after that it just freezes. Even when I try to upload it to Facebook, it doesn't play on Facebook. I don't know what's going on. I'll figure it out. I don't know if it's my phone or something I'm doing. But until Sunday or before then, guys, enjoy your week. November 1st is on Thursday. We're entering to a new month. By the matter of fact, next Sunday when we meet, we will be falling back on the clock. So make sure you set your clocks on next Sunday so you won't miss me. Because 8 o'clock next Sunday is like our 7 o'clock now. 9 o'clock now. So basically, it'll just be 8 o'clock next Sunday right now. So anyway, until next week, you all enjoy your week. I'm glad you all spent time with me. Please like, please share, please follow. I'm enjoying this with you. I enjoy sharing my time and everything with you. And until Sunday, you all have a good night. Bye-bye.